Good afternoon, friends. In this video, I will discuss about summary of Kesavananda Bharty, which is the landmark case. Firstly, let us share who was Kesavananda Bharty. Kesavananda Bharty was the head of Adnir Mutt, a religious institution in Kasaragod, Kerala. He was a spiritual leader committed to the welfare of his followers and preservation of much heritage and properties. However, his name became immortalized in Indian legal history through Kesavananda Bharty versus State of Kerala case, which established the doctrine of basic structure of the Indian Constitution. Friends, let us dive into background of the case. In 1969, Kerala government enacted land reforms under the Kerala Land Reforms Act, aiming to redistribute land to landless. This reform directly impacted the property owned by Adnir Mutt. Fearing the loss of Mutt's property, Kesavananda Bharti filed a petition under Article 32 of the Indian Constitution, claiming that his fundamental rights to manage religious property, which are protected under Article 25, 26, and 31 of the Indian Constitution, were being violated. So, friends, the issues raised in this petition were extent of parliament power. Could Parliament amend any part of the Constitution, including the fundamental rights? Second was balance between fundamental rights and directive principles. How to reconcile individual rights with socio-economic reforms aimed at achieving social goals, social justice. Third one was judicial review, whether the judiciary has the authority to strike down constitutional amendments. So, friend, this case was heard by 13-judge constitutional bench, and the Honorable Supreme Court gave its verdict. This verdict was delivered on 24th April 1973 with a ratio of 7:6. This was majority decision. And in this ruling, the Parliament had the power to amend the Constitution under Article 368. It was held. However, this power is not unlimited. Amendments cannot destroy or alter the basic structure of the Constitution. So, friends, basic structure doctrine was evolved in this case. The court identified certain features as part of the Constitution's basic structure. These are: first one is supremacy of the Constitution, second one is secularism and democracy, third one is separation of powers, and fourth one is judicial review. So, friends, keep in mind which are the basic structure contents. First one is supremacy of the Constitution, second one is secularism and democracy, third one is separation of powers, and fourth one is judicial review. These principles cannot be amended even by Parliament. Now, third one was fundamental rights versus directive principles. The judgment struck a balance, holding that neither fundamental rights nor directive principles are absolute. They must coexist harmoniously. So, friends, the significance of the judgment is: firstly, judicial independence. The ruling upheld the judiciary's power to review and strike down amendments that violated the basic structure. Limit on parliamentary power. It ensured that no political majority could fundamentally alter the Constitution's core principle. Landmark doctrine. The basic structure doctrine remains a cornerstone of Indian constitutional law and has been invoked in numerous cases to protect constitutional integrity. So, friends, there was a lot of impact of the judgment. Firstly, checks and balances. The judgment established a robust framework to prevent authoritarianism or misuse of power by parliament. Second one was subsequent challenges. The doctrine has been upheld in several landmark cases, including the Indira Gandhi election case of 1975 and Mineral Mills case of 1980. Global influence. The basic structure doctrine has inspired constitutional jurisprudence in other democracies, particularly in South Asia. So, friends, Keshav Bharti's role was, although Kesavananda Bharti initiated the case for his religious institution, his name became synonymous with the protection of constitutional democracy in India. Over time, he was seen as a symbol of delicate balance between state power and individual rights. Despite his historical role in legal history, Kesavananda Bharti remained a spiritual figure focusing on to the service of his mutt and devotees. He passed away on September 6, 2020, leaving behind an enduring legacy not only in the spiritual realm but also in shaping India's constitutional framework. That's all about Kesavananda Bharti's case summary.